Welcome, welcome everyone to another adventure into reality. Today is an open call-in show. We are going to be going to the callers in just a second. Get a few things put aside here. If you are listening to us on Facebook, YouTube, no longer Twitch or Twitter. Twitter no longer broadcasting. Periscope is no longer doing us. They are flubbing the opening. Periscope is no longer being offered as a service via Twitter. So if you are Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, or any place else you're watching, and you want to be a part of the place where we select callers, you have to be in the Zoom room. So Robert is going to put up some information about how for you to get in the Zoom room. If you are on Facebook now going, I want to get in the room, the information is about to be posted for you of how to get in the Zoom room. And I want to say, I've noticed over and over, Facebook people, you guys are some whiny little bitches. You know, I'm sorry, but there is a way for you to go from Facebook where your life exists. I get it. And you can come to Zoom. I believe in you, Facebookers. You can make it into the Zoom. It's really simple. You click on the link. Okay? You put in the meeting ID number, you put in the passcode, and you come right in. And you are then a Zoomer. That's right. All righty. And look at all the people flying into the room from Facebook. All right, so we're going to ask people to go ahead and raise their hand now as the Zoomer people are coming in. So you click on that participants button, click raise your hand. We do have a rule. If you have called in the last month, we ask you to respectfully not call in for another month. It is something we want everyone to get a chance to get a call in. We can talk about anything. It's not all about pity party me's and you's. If you want to talk about absolutely anything, I am prepared to talk about it. I'm going to say up front for you new people, I have my own views on the Facebook virus or the face masking process. Don't expect me to conform to your view. I have my own view. Now, that being said, we have a whole bunch of people who have raised their hand. Robert, let's spin up the wheel of callers and see who wants to have a conversation first.
All right, welcome everyone. Dale, you'll be the first person tonight.
Dale, are you there?
Hello, Andrew. Hello.
Hello, long time since I spoke to you. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you, Andrew. How are you doing?
Doing wonderful. What's going on in your life?
Currently at the moment, so I've just been doing my healing work for so I've had a few problems in my life, so probably about 2 years ago. So I've been back on doing the psychic surgery sessions and kind of getting used to doing online sessions instead of face-to-face and learning how to market myself in a different way from doing the face-to-face sessions. So yeah, I've just been doing self-work on myself, Andrew. I've done a lot of healing. Like I look back at and listen to the call I had with you when I had a session all those years ago, and I'll even listen to my voice.
Wasn't that like 2014?
2014, yeah, it was, yeah. And I listen to my voice and I sound so different, and it gives me inspiration listening back from that call, because that call gave me the tools to be able to kind of navigate my way through into the next stage of my life, and I'm really grateful for that, Andrew.
Well, I was just there to help you facilitate into your own success.
Thank you.
So what are you having troubles with now?
But probably about, I'd say just after New Year, I had a fire ceremony, and afterwards I felt very kind of anxious, like really, really anxious. And I felt really down for probably about 2 days. It was just before we got the news of the lockdown, like on the day, I think it was around about the 3rd of January. And I felt quite anxious for 2 days, and I feel great now. I feel good now, but I kind of wanted to know why I felt so anxious and really down for those few days.
Because your pre-emotional workforce was preparing for the depression of lockdown in everyone around you. And your pre-emotional workforce had attempted to line physical clients up, but because the physical reality wasn't going to line it, it's going to have to do a lot harder work in the unseen world. And you
Okay.
have a lot of, we'll just call it spiritual fog to work through. And it's not of your own creation. It's created because of the nature of lockdown, and you can't physically touch people to do the work that you're doing.
Okay. So what would that, is that fog? Is there anything you would advise for me for doing for psychic surgery? Because so I'm doing the sessions online. Is there anything you can look into or I can
So
expand on doing?
I'm going to give you a metaphor. Have you ever driven in thick fog?
Yes.
All right. You know how fog lights, that extra, when you install extra actual fog lights, how different the reality of driving in fog is?
Yeah.
You have to work with a lower chakra, sacrum type chakra. You've got to install fog lights in your lower chakras.
Okay.
And because your body is producing a light as the psychic surgeon, but you need 360 overall perceptive light. So you're going to have to figure out how to engage additional light generation. So
Okay.
you can see through the fog, and then people are going to generate their own static along with what lockdown is individually doing to them. It will help illuminate some of the weird energies that they have around them. And you might not even consider installing colored fog lights. Okay, so you can begin to broadcast the 7 colors. Like, let's say the beginning of the session, it's all white light. Halfway through the session, it switched to red lights. And at the end of the session, it's kind of all of the lights shining out between your sacrum and your solar, or between your sacrum and your root.
Okay. So go ahead, Andrew. You're still talking.
So the journey is, how do we create light bulbs in your gut? Okay. And the visualization process, and then adding it to your psychic surgery process, because those lights will go with you anywhere that you travel.
So would this be me kind of using the placebo effect to be able to do that, in a sense, to my chakras, to be able to change them?
You're not changing your chakras. You're taking a wire from the chakra and adding a light bulb to the left or right of it. Okay.
Okay.
You're not actually changing. You're just pulling a wire off.
Yeah.
Okay.
And how could I incorporate that into the clients?
So when you start the session, you're going to have a lot more light shining on them. Light that's part of your grounded light. And then you get to perceive more of the grounded light going through them.
Okay. And so I've got as well, I remember last time
you got to see it like when a doctor has light everywhere, like in a surgery room. You've just got to increase the volume of light around you.
Okay. So if I increase the volume of light around me, would that get me more prone to attacks if I was kind of out, saying increasing my light, just out in general? Or
no, that's your perception. The more light you have, the more attacks you'll get. And unfortunately, in this placebo-based reality, if that's even the slightest little potential inside your mind, it'll make that.
Okay.
You have to just trust in spirit that installing extra lights will actually, push things farther away.
Okay. And so at the moment, I just want to say as well, I'm doing the 1 degree of separation ceremony, which you recommended last time, and that has completely changed everything for me with the clients, to be able to have that kind of back door to shut it all off and kind of have that separation. So that's worked really well. Is there anything else you can see which I need to be working on?
Intimacy, what's going on there? There seems to be a lot of friction in your sexual energies.
Yeah. And it's funny you say that, because I was doing that. I listened to one of your shows from a while back where you did the Rubik's Cube technique, and I did that, and it came up with, I had all this perversion sexual energy from my parents when I was younger, and it kind of, that for me at the moment, that's what's really been holding me back lately, is it feels like confusion with that, and I'm quite confused where it's from.
Do you have a current partner?
Yes, I do. Yeah. Gabrielle.
And what is going on with your sexual relations with her?
I'd say that it's usually the case because of what's happened with her in the past. She's sometimes a bit closed off. Then we will be intimate at some points, but it feels like it's a bit some point kind of all towards me, who wants it more than my partner Gabrielle.
And how long has this been going on for?
I'd say not so much. It comes in stages that we'll have intimacy for quite a while, then it'll stop for a while, then I'd want it, but I just feel that there's something going on with me sexually which I've picked up, which I want to kind of find out and get rid of or heal, in a sense.
And does she have any ongoing sexual dysfunction issues?
Yeah, so she suffered from she was attacked probably around about quite a few years ago, so that had a big a part on our sexual relationship.
You're picking up on her unhealed energies.
Okay.
So the best thing I can do here is to when it comes to sexuality is be brutal honest. You're a healer and you're with somebody that's trying their damnedest, but right now they have to try different. And the on again, off again, on again, off again, on again, off again, it means I love you, I don't love you. I love you, I don't love you. Even if she's denying it, that's actually what it's doing energetically.
Okay.
The you that wants it on a regular basis is the person that's in love with her. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
And the person that is her that hasn't dealt with the attack is the person that can't love, can love, can't love, can't love, can love. And she's waffling and wavering back and forth between love and can't love and can't love.
Okay.
Okay.
So would it be a sense of her having to go through that to change it, in a sense?
I don't want to put everything on her because you did the
Okay.
Rubik's Cube and you picked up some of the dysfunction, but it was just there for you to do self-work on because you love this woman greatly. I can feel it, and she loves you greatly back. But
Thank you.
this has to be fixed. It can't go on for another 4 to 6 months, or it's going to begin to really create some major sexual frictions. Okay.
Okay.
You have to have the talk with her about the on off. From the psychic perspective, what it is actually saying energetically is I can love, I can't love. I can love, I can't love. And whenever it goes to can't love, your energy is heavily diffused and damaged because you love her eternally. You're not love on, love off, love on, love off. You're in an always love position. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
So
Yeah.
whenever her light switch turns off, it's doing damage to you. And she can't have sex with you if she's in a love off position. That's the nature of the damage that she's experienced. She still has to heal that capacity to love eternally again, even through the attack.
Okay. So is that what would I be able to do, in a sense, to be able to change that without trying to step on her journey, in a sense?
Brutal, honest, blunt up again. You have to say to her, you got to try harder.
Okay.
And explain to her love on, love off, love on, love off, love on, love off. And explain it in such a way that she gets the metaphor and the actuality, and that part of her is intentionally and not intentionally doing it.
Okay.
It's the nature of people who've been sexually traumatized. They literally have to turn the love off energy because they're still dealing with the trauma. So, do you know what Ralphing is?
No, I've not heard of that.
So it's a form of super deep tissue massage where they get emotional charged energy out of her. Myofascial release can work too. You're going to find a tough time somebody in lockdown that's going to be able to do it. Rolfing is a technique that's been there around a long time. Gestalt therapy can work also. But she's got to try harder than she's currently trying. What she's doing now is whatever coping technique she has is barreling. It's 2 steps forward, 2 steps back, 3 steps forward, 4 steps back, 25 steps forward, 30 steps back.
Okay.
It's a zero sum. It's ultimately a zero sum or a negative sum game for her long term.
Okay.
Okay.
So just speaking to her and being honest with her about it and that's the best way to go forward.
And say you're here to help through it. This may call for you to go into a celibacy stage, though. And not that you're going to turn into a monk on a mountain, and get blue ball every day, but this is where you can say, all right, I need to redirect my sexual energies and retrain it in myself so she doesn't feel pressured. And explain to her, I'm going to do this out of the pureness of my love for you. So there is zero pressure. Okay?
Yeah.
And do like 90 days of celibacy.
Okay.
Okay? So that gives her a chance to get a few steps forward without taking some steps back.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay? So Rolfing is an example. The next thing is true deep tissue massage. Have you ever had true deep tissue massage?
If I'm being brutally honest with you, I always felt like a bit, when people touch me in like certain ways, I always was a bit kind of put off by it in a sense. Myself, I don't know why. I was always a bit nervous to go see a deep tissue masseuse, but I've gone to see a craniosacral therapist, and I've had quite a bit of that done before.
So the reason you're afraid of a true deep tissue person is because you're chicken shit inside.
Yeah.
Okay. And fortunately, that's your shadow protecting its good work.
Okay.
Literally. There are positions that you could touch literally with just a finger tap like I just did, and it could put lightning pain through you. A true deep person knows how to come in with a 5 gram, 10 gram, or 1 pound touch and hold a muscle in such a position that you'll be screaming, going, oh my God. But within 6 seconds, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, 5, 1,000, 6, 1,000, the pain is gone, it converts to pleasure. Okay. What it is the muscle is such high tension, it never gets to relax. And this is what's going on with her. She has a tremendous amount of stress around her pelvic areas. Tailbones, glutes, lower back. She needs someone to come in that's a master at deep tissue massage, and it is going to hurt. But it will convert to pleasure. It absolutely will convert to deep pleasure afterwards. And she's going to need several sessions of it.
Okay.
Now, let me just check real quick. There is a gentleman in the UK. I've been recently watching his YouTube videos. Just 1 second. And this is for anybody that wants to see what true deep tissue is about. This is what Andrew does on my free time. I look for other people in the master healing situations, and I look for their work. Let me just find the channel here. Just 1 second. All right. Just 1 second. Let me make sure this is the right video.
Just to know while you're looking, Andrew, Twitter's still receiving our video stream. It's Periscope that will not be online anymore after March.
Okay. Periscope's not online after March anymore. All right.
Yeah.
All right. You can look Dr. Bo Hightower. He's an American that has specialized in chiropractic, deep tissue, and a variety of other skill sets. And he will give you the example of holding a muscle with such strength that it'll begin to give up on you. And I want to find this other guy because he was brilliant with what he could do. And I mean brilliant. Hold on, let me just type in deep tissue.
It's great that we've spoken about this, because it was something which has been going on for a while, and I've kind of not been accepting it and just really perceiving it.
All right. The next one is next stage injury therapy. Now, this is the name of his channel. Next stage injury therapy. Now, I can't show any videos, otherwise YouTube will give me a copyright hit. So if you type in deep tissue massage and look for the channel Next Stage Injury Therapy, it's a guy that's got tattoos up and down the left and right arm, both sleeve. This guy is beyond brilliant. Okay. And the people that watch this channel are major massage therapist people who say inside the comments, "Oh my God, I just push people's muscles around." And they've been, these are top level people. And this is what you have to explain to her is what she needs. And just because you're chicken shit, you should absolutely go and get some. And I advise everybody in there. You will see videos, people of literally screaming in pain and then instantly turn to laughter. Okay? And you could watch hours of his videos, as I did. Dr. Bo Hightower's video, he comes in, he's a chiropractor. He has a hammer and a chisel and puts it on spine. Clink, clink. And we're not talking a little hammer, we're talking a big hammer.
Yeah.
Okay? But he works with top-level MMA, martial arts, bodybuilders, some of the people that, the highest level athletic bodies, and he puts, Humpty Dumpty's back together again.
Brilliant. I'll have to check that out. I've got something on my my legs I wanted to talk to you about. Does my stress go down to my legs? Because I've always had spots like on in the inner leg, like on the top.
That's your abductor muscle. Do you know what the abductor muscle are? The abductors are?
Yeah.
All right. So the way they connect to the inside of the thigh and the way it wraps around the femur bone is never releasing, which is causing quad and calf issues. So you get lots of tensed energies in your calves.
Yeah, loads.
Yeah, that's why your abductor muscles, as well as a variety of other muscles in your feet, aren't relaxing either, which is first stage sciatica.
Okay.
Yes, that's Dr. Bo Hightower with the hammer and chisel.
Okay.
And the video there. And then Robert, if you can show the guy from Next Stage Injury Therapy.
1 sec, I'll get right on it.
Yeah. Anyways, so you could learn a lot just from listening to these two people talk.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm going to tell you right now, when I'm looking at your energy, you got a lot of tense muscles. Why?
Yeah, I do.
The way you were raised. I know you. I know what's in the makeup. And the way you were raised was high adrenaline.
It was, yeah.
Okay. And you got to tell the body of what not high adrenaline is.
So deep. So for myself, I'll definitely get some massage for myself as well to really.
Not massage, deep tissue specific. Trigger point, deep tissue. And you're going to watch those videos, and that's what you have to expect. Yes.
Okay.
You literally watch a dozen or so of this guy's videos or Dr. Hightower's video. For you, I would say watch this guy's videos, the ones that's up there right now. And anybody else that wants to do some high-level introspective therapy on themselves, and you literally, the work that this man does is miracles.
And I was going to ask as well, when I'm doing my psychic surgery sessions, when I'm doing it for someone distant, do some of you were talking about the hands, what come out of my back. Do some of them like remove anything from the client? If you get what I mean, remove any.
Yes, they do. They do. They remove things. They add things. They're the extra hands, literally.
Okay.
Okay.
And so I've basically had two clients as well. I remember you saying on a video with I think her name was, I can't remember a fully name now, but you were saying I had a few people who visited me, with the holes in the ears. And I remember you saying something about their dream world. And is there any advice you can give me to dealing with clients what have got that amount of kind of stuff going on in their dream world, so to say?
So you're going to have to do a lot of work on the jaw and the teeth.
Okay.
So the teeth store the memory of the dreams. and people grind their teeth when they're asleep. So you're going to have to figure out how to send a tremendous amount of cleansing, rejuvenating, recycling energy to the teeth, and then all of the nerves that are connected to the teeth, and then the main three nerves that come out of the back of the head. There's three nerves that go into the face, one to the one to the orbits and nose, one to the sphenoid bone, one to the jaw, chin, and teeth. You got to release those three main nerves and have energy go from the teeth backwards into the nerves, into the occiput, and then back into the brain, back into the motor cortex, and then reset the motor cortex, because the motor cortex is beginning to turn on in the dream space. And anybody that has heavily activated dreams, you can read it all through that process. It's think of it like rebooting your computer that hasn't been rebooted in a year. Okay. And that's what you're doing when you're shutting the motor cortex down, by sending energy backwards through it and then allowing it to flow forward and feel how it flows. Okay. Yeah. And then you got to go into a state where you can ask the body to be in a simulated sleep space, so I can see what parts of your body are waking up. There are a lot of people who have major non-dreaming issues, and sometimes nightmares, not nightmares. They produce enough chemical to go into sleep paralysis, but it's not deep enough. They just produce just enough to put them asleep, and then parts of their body will wake up. That's like a person who's in surgery and is anesthetized and wakes up early. Okay. You got to find out what body parts are waking up early, and then ask those body parts, or find the spot in the brain that is producing the sleep paralysis stuff and do the psychic surgery strictly on that. What you'll discover is entities often like to put hooks, portals, and attachments onto that actual organ.
Okay, thank you.
And you could fortify it with some white light. You can build a castle of energy around it. There's all sorts of psychic surgery stuff you can do to secure the sleep paralysis spot.
Okay, thank you. And we've had a baby a few years ago called Opal, and I was just wondering, she's got some like spots, some warts next to her anus.
Are they actual warts?
I think so. Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Go to the doctor right away.
Okay, that's what I said to Gabrielle. We need to
right away.
Okay.
Right away, because they could be cancerous at that young age.
Okay.
Okay.
And is there anything about Opal or anything you can say about her?
Make sure she has a normal life growing up. Don't force spirituality down her throat too early.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
And that's what I was thinking with the kids as well. We do ceremonies, but I'm waiting till they're about 8 years old to start doing it once a week, just so I'm not.
You can introduce it to them early, but only if they ask to be a part of it.
Okay.
And then there's going to come a point you want them to be as a kid as long as they can. And right now there's a mother somewhere listening going, man, I want my kid to be spiritual. You will do more harm to them now by taking away their childhood and forcing them to be spiritual than anything you can do. Make sure they're a kid for as long as possible.
Okay. And so we spoke on the last call about Marley, and that's another thing which has been not worrying me a bit, but because of what he's kind of doing, it's just I'm not worried, but you saying he needed to be a teacher, or that's what he was going to grow up to be. So how am I meant to implicate that without kind of stepping on his journey?
You got to teach him how to passively be a teacher, how to have respect for other human beings. How, what makes a good human, makes a good teacher.
Okay.
Make sure he learns musical instruments, extra languages, give him all the skills as possible.
Okay.
Teach him about discernment, teach him about true discipline.
Okay. And is there anything else you want to say as well? I really appreciate this, Andrew, and I'll definitely book another session with Gabrielle with you at some point in the.
I'm going to reiterate the sexuality thing. It's probably best for you to just do a ritual and ceremony of a celibacy process, but make sure you share with your wife. She may need the sexuality more than she's going to admit.
Okay.
And you could talk to her, play this whole session for her.
Yeah.
Okay? Because there's a tremendous amount of love between the two of you. And right now it's giving both of you the opportunity to heal in the best way. And you probably haven't had a celibacy stage in a while. It will do you good. If she doesn't want to do the celibacy stage, darling, you got a lot more work to do on the attack you went through. Okay? And deep tissue, play her some of those videos. Okay? And talk to the deep tissue person. I've got trauma locked in my body that's got to come out.
Okay.
Okay.
And is there anything in my dreams that's something I feel that I'm not disconnected, but I feel like sleeping with Gabrielle and Opal in the same bed. When they're not in the bed and I sleep on my own, my dreams are so different, and I'm able to have more kind of vivid dreams and more dreams of.
Yeah, you got kitty dream space in your reality.
Yeah.
Okay. But at the same time, nurture while you can have it, and eventually just realize they're going to get to an age you don't want them to be 7 and still in your bed. That also can be an issue with your wife and sexuality too.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well.
You never know when they're going to pop back in, and you're not going to put a lock on the door, but you can put a motion alarm. That's helped many parents. Okay. Okay. A light turns on outside the door from motion activity. Okay. It blinds the kid for 2 seconds and give you a chance.
There's something I've been wanting to ask you for a long time, actually. When this lockdown is over, is there what countries, because I'm really wanting to do pilgrimages as my next step. Is there any countries you'd recommend to in the future go to, which would really help me, or any caves to visit, what you'd recommend?
So short term, have you done any Scotland trips?
That's been on the agenda before post lockdown. I was about to go, and the lockdown happened on that weekend. I actually had a dream about a past life in Scotland the day before I was about to go there in 1666. It might have been. And
so in the short term, while you're still in lockdown, you can still travel. You can still do things, make a trip to Scotland. When lockdown lifts in sometime late 2023, yeah, it's going to be that long. Save some money up. Where should you go first? Ooh. I would say get a visitor visa to the United States and go to Carlsbad Cavern, New Mexico. It's one of the largest underground cave systems that's in the world, that's public thing. And then Nashville, Tennessee has a gigantic underground cavern system you can go spelunking in and doing stuff in. Chaco Canyon, New Mexico. And then if you can get time to go and visit Mexico, whether it's the Yucatan or the Mexican monuments, it'll be up to you.
Okay.
So the Mayan Aztec stuff.
Okay.
And if you can have even longer time off, the Banff National Forest, specifically Lake Louise in Canada.
Okay, why would that be? Have I been there before?
So that's basically a pristine national forest near Mount Whistler Mountain.
Okay, yeah, I've heard of Whistler.
Yeah, truly mystical place. Dale, thanks a lot for calling in. You have been a great teacher to a lot of people out there too.
Thank you, Andrew. I appreciate you, brother. Take care.
You're welcome, man. Take it easy. Good talking to you again.
You too. I'll speak to you soon.
All righty. Robert, we have some wonderful callers. Let's spin up the wheel of callers and see who is next.
All righty, that was great. Gujon Guestson, you're getting a signal to unmute.
Gujon, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, where are you calling from today?
I'm calling from Iceland.
Iceland, welcome to the show. What do you think of our show so far?
It's great. I start to listen to you when you start.
Oh, you've been listening to me a long time.
Yeah, 8 years, I think so.
Yes. So what did you want to talk about today?
I was thinking about about who's the first man to come here to Iceland and live here.
Who's
you
the
know?
first? Well, people have been living on Iceland for a very long time. You're talking, see, even 12,000 years ago, there were Atlanteans still living there with high technology. So there have always been people living there.
Yeah, okay, then I know it. Then I heard old stories about people who was here.
Yeah,
And
and then just also realize there was a time where the oceans were a lot lower, like 300 feet lower, and Iceland was still technically connected to the British Isles at that point.
Yeah, okay.
It was just a very high mountain, very far off. And Iceland was a high place of power where off-world ships could go to recharge themselves from the volcanoes.
Yes, okay. That's interesting. Yeah, something about myself. Can you tell me where I'm from?
So you
What is the purpose?
you're Arcturian by nature. That means you came here from the Arcturian homeworld about 32, 33 million years ago, about a part of the grand immigration that was coming from that section of the galaxy. And your
Okay.
individuated purpose to coming here was learning about source connection and source disconnection, something that was going to be very special about Earth. And you have to perceive what source connection or source connected versus source disconnected means. That means for every time you learned how to reconnect to source, you learned a brand new way of disconnecting from source through forced evolutionary process. And you've been going through this process of source connection, disconnection, source connection, disconnection for so long, you have mastered both states of living. And part of the grander DNA process of Earth is learning how to activate our source connection at will as a part of a 100% free will universe, 100% free will galaxy, on a 100% free will planet, and a 100% free will DNA activated body. So you're here, this part of this human lifetime right now, to learn your source activation codes as part of your self illumination process.
Okay. That's very interesting. I sometimes I start to eat. I'm hungry. I start to eat. Then I get very strange thoughts about I'm living like in a starship or something, and I'm an officer, and I get a lot of stories in my head. Why is that? You know?
Because there's a highly creative you that's looking for an output. In previous lifetimes, you were an indigenous storyteller. You held the wisdoms of the ancient, meaning you knew the grandfather's stories 7 generations in the past, and you made sure the stories of the people were told to the 7 generations of the future. And it's time for you to start taking all of these things that are in your brain. Every time you eat, that happens. Start writing them down or picking up a recorder and recording them and then having someone transcribe them later. There is powerful messages in there for the allness of humanity if you can find the compassion to yourself and the deeper understanding that this stuff needs to be recorded for the future of humanity.
Okay. Surprised me. I thought it was something wrong with me.
No, there's nothing wrong with you. It's built into your DNA.
I always say stories, you know, to people. I always try to make them happy and say funny stories. And
You're a record. You're a storyteller and a record keeper.
Okay, I always remember what you said, you know. But I'm starting to be very careful what I say now, because you warn everybody to don't tell everything you say, because it will be said wrong.
Well, now is the time for you to start writing everything down.
Yeah.
Record it all. And when you're ready to put it into a presented format, that's when you can choose to take stuff out.
I have one question more, if it's okay, Andrew.
Sure, go ahead.
I was on the sea many years ago, and I died. And it was an accident, and it was a heavy loads and was on my back, and I saw bright light, yellow and then white, or I was not sure was. I think it was yellow or white, and I was flying around the ship and go faster, and suddenly I stop and I see the sea, very beautiful. It was very bad weather when it happened, and the sea was very beautiful. Then I go back down and wake up. It was very painful. What was happening then? Why did I leave it? Why do I make to come back?
So you actually died. You actually died in that moment, and the angel spirits of the ocean of the boat put you back into your body because it wasn't your time, and it's because the good work that you still have to do, and that you're a very good man and have been a very good man for many lifetimes in a row, and it wasn't your time.
Yeah.
Okay.
I knew that. I knew that. Was something with the sea. It was so beautiful, you know.
Yeah. It was the angel. It was the angel of the ocean and the angel on that boat that brought you back.
Yeah, I always say the story. The sea was so beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it now. I'm very happy. I'm still here, and I'm very grateful what you have said. It's made me to believe of the life. You know, I'm more happy now. When you say all life have a meaning when it's born, and I lost a lot of animals from me, you know, they die in my hands like that. And after I heard you say that, then I got some power I never feel before, you know. It was not my fault they die, you know.
That's right.
It's life.
It's part of the great food chain of life.
Yeah.
Okay? You're not the old man in the sea right now. You're the great man on the sea who has a lot of wisdom to impart into the future people.
Yeah, I have always liked that, to say people's stories, and always the best of it, not bad things.
Again, tell the stories, write them down, make them your legacy to the future.
Yeah, I will do that. I will maybe call you later and have some 40 minutes or.
Yes,
30.
I'd love to do that with you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you all. Bye.
You're welcome. I look forward to talking to you again.
Yeah, thank you. I'm happy now.
Smile. Get out there and tell your stories, man. You're a beautiful soul.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks a lot for calling in.
No.
All right, Robert, let's spin up the wheel of callers and see who is next.
Hello and good night to Iceland. Okay, Ashe Lollover. Signal to unmute.
Ashe Lullover, are you there?
Hello.
Hey, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Glastonbury, England.
Glastonbury, England. Welcome to the show.
Hi. So basically, sorry, I'm a bit flustered. I wasn't expecting to get picked. Basically, a couple of years ago, I had pretty serious drug problem, and I spent probably the last probably 6 or 8 years like well out of my body. And I feel like I've spent the last couple of years sort of coming back down to earth, literally. I've had like pretty big spiritual awakening in the last 2 years, but I was wondering whether you can tell me anything about what's going on with my body, because my guts seem to just be completely out of sync. I've heard you talk about how it's related to the dreaming body. I don't remember any of my dreams.
All right, so let me probe you a little bit. How bad of a drug user were you? And be brutal honest.
I've got a massive hole in my nose.
So was it mostly cocaine? Was it heroin? Was it methamphetamines?
Just cocaine, and I only ever sniffed it, but
So only cocaine, never anything else?
no, I mean I smoked a lot of weed and drank a lot of alcohol, but it was cocaine.
Okay, so the main thing was cocaine. No hallucinogens?
I've taken hallucinogens, but not like as a very, very regular. I suppose I did a little bit of ketamine at one point, but it was never like massively regular. It's something I've tried to keep a bit of distance from because my dad had an experience with it.
Just a couple times a year, then, is what you're saying?
Maybe a few more times than a couple times a year, but not massively. Nowhere near the cocaine.
Okay, so was it more than 15 times a year?
Probably around that.
Okay, that's still pretty high.
10 times.
That's still pretty high.
Yeah.
Did you have any sex addictions during it?
No, probably quite the opposite, to be honest. That's another thing whilst trying to reconnect with my body is, if I'm brutally honest, I have got quite a low energy level, and that flows through into my sex drive as well. Do you know what I mean?
Right. So the libido is very low.
Yeah, and just general energy. I mean, I've got quite an active job, but I feel like I should have more energy for 30. Do you know what I mean?
When you first quit cocaine, did you put on a lot of weight?
Nope.
So you never
struggled to put on weight.
You're still struggling to put on weight.
Yeah, I've been up in my protein. I'm getting 40 grams of protein a day now, but it seems to have just turned my guts over. And now I'm getting real bad stomach cramps. They do the pains tend to move every now and again a bit. I think it might be something energetic.
No, what it is when you were doing large amounts of cocaine, you would binge, you would not eat food for a long period of time, and then eat a whole bunch of food. And what is created is a massive imbalance in your intestinal tract. Mm-hmm. And now that you're getting 40 grams of protein, you don't actually have the right proper gut genome to break down food. And you probably were eating crappy food back in your cocaine era. So the first and most important thing for you to do is understand you've got to do a full-on intestinal flush.
Cleanse.
Yeah, no, well, not a cleanse, a flush, meaning you're probably going to look at between 10 and 12 colonics. Now, have you ever done colonics before?
No, I haven't. No, but it's something I'm going to have to get my head around, isn't it?
Do you know what they are?
It's basically a flush, isn't it?
Well, they stick a tube up your ass.
Yeah, fill you up and flush you out.
Fill you and flush you out, exactly.
Yeah.
To the point where you could drop off 10 pounds of turds. Okay,
sounds fun.
I want you to understand this. 1 colonic is equivalent to 30 morning poops.
Right. Okay.
You're at least 300 morning poops behind schedule.
All right. Yeah. Makes sense.
That's how backed up you are. That's why your dream world's fucked up. Now, colonics aren't cheap. They're generally $90 a piece. Mm-hmm. And it's the middle of lockdown. You can go to a website called CaliforniaKalimaboard.com or just find a Kalima board, COLEMA board. It's basically a board that fits over a toilet that has a big giant hood on it. You put your ass up to the hood and your feet in the air, and you have a gravity-fed tube that goes inside you. You learn to self-insert, and you learn how to create your own special water that helps flush you out. Okay? You could go online and learn all about Kalima boards and save yourself $1,500 in colonics. And you would do two to 3 a week for 5 weeks. Okay. And then you would take an extended break. Now, during this 2 to 3 weeks where you're doing 2 at a time, you have to up your fluid intakes. So it'd probably be a good idea to switch to bone brothy soups. You know, it can still have all sorts of stuff in it, but you should really be a more of a soupy base for that time, and make sure you're still getting your proteins.
Okay.
Now, just that alone will recover your dream world and will help you flush your liver, flush your gallbladder. All that stuff is clogged up from the extended drug use.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, how many years were you doing the drugs hardcore?
Hardcore, probably 4. 3 or 4.
Hey, did you deal at the same time?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the hardest part of you getting over is the dealing part. That does more damage to your energy long term than the actual cocaine part
Yeah,
itself.
definitely did, without
Okay.
a doubt.
So just to help people that are listening, because you know this, what damage did it do to you?
It's nearly ripped everything I had in my life away from me. Sorry, I'm getting a bit emotional thinking about it.
Okay.
But
It's okay.
yeah, no, it was it changes the dynamic of it all. It changes who you are. Yeah, it's not nice. Wouldn't advise it to anyone.
So how are you going to heal from that?
It's been a bit of a journey trying to work out how to heal. I mean, it all sparked off my drug habits got really bad from a breakup that I had with my ex-partner who I've got a kid with, and it was it's been a bit of a healing process. I mean, I'm trying to work out how to completely disengage and let go of all the sort of unseen parts of it all. Do you know what I mean? I've moved on. I'm really happy now. I've had a spiritual awakening. I feel really empowered at points, but you know what I mean? It's how do I really truly get it out of my body, out of me?
So I'm going to help you here. The first thing you got to do is while you're going to be doing these flushes, you've got to go on what I call blanket self-forgiveness. I forgive myself for doing all the cocaine. I forgive myself for every person I dealt with, all the damage that it's done, etc. But you really got to get into a high state flow where you're doing about a half hour to 45 minutes a day of pure blanket forgiveness. You could do 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there, 20 minutes here, but you got to work up to that 1 hour to an hour and a half a day of pure self-forgiveness. And when you do 30 days of deep self-forgiveness, you will reach the core of why you let yourself degrade that much.
Mm-hmm.
And once you get to that core of why I degraded and forgive it, it'll be out of your system. And then you're gonna shit the rest of it out.
So do you mean doing sort of like a 20-minute meditation of going through situations that I want to let go of and forgive?
Out loud forgiveness for everything. Everything. I road raged on someone. I forgive myself. All the attitudes,
through the situations and just out loud.
Even the most minor things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because you have 4 years of pent up cocaine rage in you.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, nice one. Yeah, cool.
Okay. And the forgiveness is the steam valve and the delete button on it.
Okay.
That's what you're going to see. So that
I haven't been looking at it like that. So yeah.
Okay. And if you can do this while you're doing the home kalimas or colonics, you're going to be a new person in 4 weeks.
Okay.
Brand new person. Okay. Brand new person. And then the next part is the actual electrical damage to the body from the cocaine. Now, for people that don't really understand cocaine, what did it do for you when you were high?
It, I suppose, gave me confidence, I suppose, but maybe it let me escape from reality. It was more to the point and avoid everything.
And then you combine
my own little bubble.
Then you combine the dealing aspect and making money.
Yeah, and then it just became a life. My life. And then it became my lifestyle, a life. Everything.
Right.
Everything.
And that's an electrical charge left in your body. And like with the other caller, I talked about deep tissue massage. You are the perfect candidate for deep tissue massage. I work with a lot of people that are in recovery. The best thing you can do for any recovering person is deep tissue massage, because cocaine has activated microtensor muscles in you that have been activated and have never stopped. Okay. Quite literally, you've done enough cocaine that certain tensor muscles inside your lower back, in your sacrum, in your shoulders have never released. They've been tight for 5 years. Right. Okay. And you're going to be one of those people on the table screaming.
I tell you what, I was in Greece for 3 months actually, and I went to see a guy a sort of back alley guy called Jimmy, and he gave me a couple of deep tissue massages that I was walking like John Wayne for 3 days, but I did feel amazing afterwards. So
you visited Jimmy the Greek.
yeah, I did visit Jimmy the Greek, and I tell you what, he cracked me and bent me, but he is a genius when it comes to that sort of stuff. So
you need to find someone local that can do that for you.
Mm-hmm.
And you're looking at about 15 hours of sessions.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. I reckon I can sort that out.
Now, if you could arrange the sessions, the colonics, and the forgiveness all in the same month, then you're going to have a month to figure out what you're going to do afterwards, because everything's going to be different for you. And this is where you've got to chart your course. What do I truly want to do now that I've recovered from this state of degradation?
This was another thing that I was going to sort of possibly put to you if we got the time. I've been a tree surgeon for the last 12 years of my life. I'm really good at it, but I don't want to do it anymore. It's ruined my body. And I've sort of just come out the end of all these drugs and everything like that. And it's like, I'm trying to steer my life in a certain direction. And I'd quite like to get into some healing and stuff like that, but I've got a lot of healing to do on myself before I can really do good for other people. Do you know what I mean? So
because you are a tree surgeon, you will absolutely become an amazing healer. For every tree that you brought back to life, you will be able to repay humanity many, many fold. Okay?
Okay, that gives me a different perspective on my job, actually.
I'd highly advise you, if you can get government assistance going to school, go to deep tissue class. Okay?
Yeah.
Watch that video. Watch that guy in those videos. That guy makes a fortune doing that. Okay?
Okay, yeah.
Okay? Instead of making pruning trees, you're pruning people.
Yeah, no, I really like the idea of that. Cool. All right.
Okay. Sports medicine would also be a very good thing for you to go into.
Sports medicine.
Mm-hmm. Helping athletes recover from injuries.
All right. There was one other thing, if I've got time.
Yeah, you got time. Go ahead.
After I had my sort of spiritual awakening with my partner, which we had a pretty crazy night, I've been getting ringing in my ears. It sort of fluctuates. I've been trying to pinpoint what it is. It kind of feels like it's other people's emotions sometimes, but then at other points,
it's your dealer sense.
It's my dealer sense.
Yeah, I run into this a lot. Meaning, it's money to be made. Get up and make some money, asshole. Push. Dealers form a very unique psychic bond with their clients, even if they've never been a client for you before. And you've tapped into the psychic dealer world, and you've got to disconnect from it. So the next time it starts to happening, going, I'm not dealing anymore. I'm not doing drugs anymore. I'm not acknowledging that as a psychic sense that's relevant to me anymore.
I mean, to me, it's never been drug related. I mean,
it isn't about that. It's literally the body turning on a psychic sense when something's emotionally talking about you. Okay, a lot of times it's just somebody that's in a craving moment and going, "Who can I get it from?" and looking through their Rolodex of people.
Right. So, it's me. I shouldn't be doing it, but it's me picking up on other people's
other people like projecting
energy
at you. Yeah, other people projecting at you.
And I need to learn to shut that off so that I'm not taking on other people's shit, basically.
Correct.
Right. That does make sense. But I mean, at other points, I get it when I'm alone. Like,
sure. How often have you been sitting in your car when you were a dealer and you know the phone's going to ring and it's just waiting?
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, I get it constantly. And that is just that.
For you right now, that's what it is. Once you deal with it, you're going to realize you're actually a super psychic. And because you've been working on trees for long, the trees have been working on you back and doing healing on you.
Wow. I tell you what, I just got the biggest wave of hair standing up on the back of my neck.
Because you know it's true.
Yeah, I do know it's true.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah, cool. Wicked. So get on a flush then.
Shit, you need
Get
a
my
shit
head
out.
around that.
You need a shit out a thunderstorm.
All right, brilliant.
Okay,
All right.
Kalima boards. Unless you got the money to do colonics, okay,
All right.
you can go and get a YouTube PhD in how to do home Kalimas.
I may as well learn to do it myself. It's a good
Right.
thing to know how to do, eh?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely, a great thing to learn to do yourself. And then the follow up is do one every other month.
Yeah. All right,
Okay.
cool. Wicked.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Andrew. You've been a great help.
Thank
tonight
you.
and
You've been
over the last year. It's brilliant. Thank you.
Great. You've been a great teacher to a lot of people too. Thanks for calling in.
Thanks. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Cheers. All right, Robert, let's spin up the wheel of callers and see who's next.
Awesome call, Ash. Karen Lacey, your signal to unmute.
Karen Lacey, are you there? Karen, I want to speak to your manager.
The microphone is open.
Karen,
Now it's closed. One more signal. You can do it.
I want to speak to your manager, Karen. Karen, you could unmute. I believe in you.
All right, let's take Albert Ortega.
Albert.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Andrew.
Hi, Albert. How you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you so much.
What's going on with you today?
Oh, nothing. I was just interested in finding out about my life, my history, my galactic history, where I came from, my purpose. Like that first gentleman, man, that was beautiful. So I wanted to learn about myself.
It's not time for you.
No? Okay.
No, not time for you. What have you been doing in your spiritual practice that's promoting you to want to know something you can find out on your own?
I've been doing, I like doing a lot of Vajrayana Buddhism. I do a lot of Vajrayogini practice and Chakra practice. I do meditation using the modalities of like Mahamudra and Sokchen.
In the Dzogchen practices that you're doing, what's not validating your internal wisdom?
Good question. It's
Because
mostly
you're looking to me to validate something where you have to validate it yourself. And that's the greatest gift I can give you, is self-validation at this moment. Simply because I know what kind of a practitioner and a student you are. It's far more fulfilling for you when you get it, and you can then say, is this true about me, this and this, instead of me telling you it all.
I kind of like in the beginning when I was learning, I had a really nice teacher that kind of helped me by the hand. And he was very different with me, and that he was like my dad. He always like taught me like little things that led me to empower myself. And now that I don't have that, I guess I'm trying to find out like through other teachers, like my teacher Jampa, who is
and now you got to find it in yourself. Now you got to find it in yourself, because you are that skilled to find it in yourself.
Well, thank you.
And what have you learned about yourself?
Well, that the world around me, I need to be a cause for positive. I guess you could say a positive influence. I guess you could say, because I have lived in the world of construction. Like my parents own a construction company, and I have seen how like that can be very corrupt. I've seen the aspects of it, how the construction was related to politics, and how that's kind of like corrupt. So I try to be like a positive influence around people, that I try to like say, well, no, look at it this way. This is what's actually going on, and learning about how like yes, you have talked about how like the conspiracy stuff and the truth tellers and the Q-tards have been like kind of like screwing everything, but they have helped me understand and help people explain. Now I'm learning that it's all like kind of got messed up somewhere, where we have like the QAnon people messing everything up. I kind of say, well, I kind of pushed myself away from that particular type of knowledge, and I just stuck to the Buddhist knowledge that I practice, and that I try to profess to people and teach. Like I guess not teach. I don't try to influence, like push myself on anybody, but I just try to.
But
like,
you
say,
are
well,
ready.
no,
You are ready to teach.
oh,
You are
thank you.
absolutely ready to teach.
I have a friend. Thank you for bringing that up, and thank you for that vote of confidence. Because one of my best friends, George, who's a martial arts brother of mine, he says, "Hey, come on, let's start a YouTube channel or a channel somewhere where we talk about Buddhism." And the first topic that he wanted to talk about was the Four Noble Truths.
There you go.
And I was like, oh. And then like that happened. That happened. He gave me that news, and then like something happened at the house where like a water main broke because it got cold in El Paso, and it got really snowy, and then that hardly ever happens.
Right.
And,
You got the giant winter storm. That's telling you don't get frozen in your choices.
Oh,
Otherwise, your pipes are going to break. Your teacher pipes are going to break because it's time for you to get out there and teach.
but how should I go about it? Maybe that's.
But that's the uncertainty in you, and that's why you're trying to ask me for validation. But you got to ask yourself for validation, and I'm going to help you out a little bit here. Why don't you just enter that quiet space and ask out loud and get your own answer? What is the home world that I came from?
Home world that I came from.
And get your own answer.
I hear Orion for some weird reason.
Okay. Can you validate in your knowingness?
If I understand it correctly from what I've learned, some Orions, they have like a dual personality.
So I could barely hear you now. You got to come closer to the microphone. It sounds like your microphone faded out.
I hear that like the Orions kind of have a dual personalities. Like some can be like not good, some can be really, really good, and there's some that are in between.
Now you're letting conspiracy and modern UFO stuff interfere with your truths.
Yeah, because I don't know much about that kind of stuff.
Because this is where you have been using other teachers as a crutch for too long.
Yes, I have, and yes, I have.
Okay.
Yes, I have.
You got to learn to trust yourself here. Go beyond the conspiracy. We'll clear all that out. That's just attachment. And what do Buddhists say about attachments?
Yeah, attachments are stuff that's going to lead you to samsara and lead you to suffering because you get clinging to something, and because your ego gets kind of bloated up and you don't progress.
Are you attached to knowing what world you came from?
No, I was just wondering where, like.
Answer the actual question, because curiosity is still an attachment.
Oh, okay. Yes, in that sense of trying to find out and like grabbing that knowledge, because I do have that. I do grasp that knowledge. I do I collect books like you would not believe.
And why are you attached to those books?
Knowledge that I can have at my fingertips if I don't remember what I learned. Maybe that's
the knowledge is already at your mental fingertips and within your spirit. You just don't believe in that connection. You believe in the paper book connection or digital video connection more than your own soul.
Oh yeah, that's true. I do have that. Yeah, I do.
So let's break down that attachment that it has to come from book reality, video reality.
I kind of feel like if I say it, now that I do understand what you're telling me, and I do deep down feel that if I say it, it's not going to have any weight for that person that I want to help.
But it's got to have weight for you before you can help others.
Yeah, because I can spit you Shanti Deva's teachings. I can spit at you Nagarjuna.
I know you can. Yeah, but you got to be able to do it for yourself. So really break down that attachment about the answer has to come from a book or from a video.
I do apply what I learned. I mean, I have taught meditation courses to people. I have helped people understand Dharma and sutras because they asked me, like my friends that I know that I help them understand and make their firm decisions to follow this path, because I don't consider it what I follow a religion. I consider it a way of life, a path to walk in life, so you can better know yourself.
So let's stop avoiding breaking that attachment down, and right now break that attachment of having to know via book, via video, that you can trust it coming from yourself.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
It is something you're going to have to do on regular practice. What I could recommend is take the Buddhist wrecking ball to all forms of knowledge-based attachment. The knowledge is already in you. Whatever construct that validates externally is what you're going to take the Buddhist attachment wrecking ball to. So you're always etherically connected to the wisdom. All right, we lost you again. We can barely hear you.
I said thank you. Yes, I understand.
Okay. All right, Albert. Thanks for calling in.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome. Have a good one.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right, Robert. Let's spin up the wheel of callers and see who is next.
All righty. Takara, signal to unmute.
Takara, are you there?
I'm here.
Hi.
Good night, everyone.
Hi. Where are you calling from today?
I'm calling from Barbados.
Barbados. Welcome to the show. What did you want to talk about today?
Okay, well, I really just wanted to ask about my son. I have a 3-year-old son, and he isn't talking as yet. So I'm gonna get him tested to see, like, you know, if he's autistic or whatever. But I just basically wanted to know what is it that he requires from me so that I can be the best mother for him, I guess. Like, why did he choose me to come through?
All right, so I got to know a little bit about you before we get into that. Was
Sure.
it a hard pregnancy for you?
No, it was really good. Actually, before I'll give you the history of him.
Okay.
So normally my cycle is very normal. And so like the night before my cycle was due, you know, me and my husband, we got a little crazy, you know, because I was expecting a cycle to happen the next day and it never came. And I think like when my cycle was due, I got a dream and this guy, he held my hand and he led me to a table and he told me that my life is predestined and that I will give birth before the end of the year. And I was like, what? And then, so it just turned out that I was actually pregnant with my son. So the pregnancy was really good. He came out, he was actually born in his sac. And, you know, I was told that that was a real birth. And I also have a friend who does, what do you call it, human design. And when she did...
Hold on, when you say born in the sac, meaning you didn't break your water?
No, he didn't break my water, no.
Very important thing to understand. Was this at QEH?
No, he was born at home. I had a home birth.
Beautiful.
And I didn't cut his cord or anything like that.
Okay.
Right. So I allowed the cord to detach by itself. I put him on the heart. Everything was beautiful. The only thing I can say is that during my labor, I expected him to come out faster because he's my fourth child, but he took his time. And then when it was ready for him to come out, he just came right out. So I just figured that he was waiting to choose that specific time for him to come out, right? So
yes. And he's still waiting to figure something out in his reality.
That's what I'm understanding from him. So
even if you have him tested for autism, more than likely they would say yes, but I don't think he's actually autistic.
That's what I don't want to do. I don't want to get him labeled. Right.
No. It's not going to matter. Listen, you have to have the test just to have the test.
Okay.
What you believe in going on from that is your personal choice.
Right.
Because having the test will determine what type of government services you're going to get moving forward.
Okay.
Okay. Now, if that test comes back, which I'm saying it's going to come back, yes, but that doesn't mean he's actually in that situation. Because your real question is, how do I be a better mother to this child?
Exactly.
Well, you have a little Mozart on your hand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you hear him screaming in the back?
I can hear him in the background. You have a little Mozart on your hand.
Okay.
And that means he's going to be a child genius.
Yes.
He's going to be smarter than everyone in the room since the day of his birth.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
And how can you be better than Mozart and the genius in the room? You can't.
Yeah.
But what you can do is teach him about how to be a good human being.
That's right. Okay.
Okay.
And one thing about him is love. Like we shower him with love, and he's so amazing. He really is,
Okay.
But anyway, go ahead.
Like somebody in the chat room saying Einstein was 6 when he first started talking.
I heard that before. My other son, he's going to be 6 in March. He was the same way. Up until maybe 3.5, he wasn't speaking either. But the difference was that he was understanding commands. My son at 3, he doesn't. It's as if he's in his own little bubble.
Because he is.
Right. Exactly.
He is.
He is in his own little bubble. But he's still with us still, right? It's weird. Yeah.
So what I'm going to recommend to you is pick up some of the classics of ancient classical music and have a set of like Bluetooth speakers that are just for him, that are going to be close to him. Violin music, single instrument classical music, some gospel, some blues type music, something that has a rhythm, and watch to see if he taps his toe or rocks his head to it.
He already does. He loves music.
That's just confirming he's a Mozart.
Wonderful.
Okay.
It makes sense. It makes sense.
You're in Barbados.
We have music in our family, so
right.
On both of our sides. Yeah.
I lived in Barbados for a long time, so I know the culture there quite well.
Yeah.
Do you have any special djembe drum teachers in your area?
I do, and I just hooked up with a really wonderful sister that she calls herself the queen of drum. Actually, his uncle but he doesn't do that kind of drumming. He does regular drums. His uncle is a drummer, so I can speak to him as well.
So there are some videos online on YouTube of showing a 3-year-old grandmaster djembe drummer and a 5-year-old, and you watch this kid go from 3 to 6 years old, and literally you can see the adult person coming out in him.
Wow.
Put a djembe drum in front of him, put a rattle in front of him, put musical instruments in front of him as early as possible. He will probably he'll learn to read sheet music before he becomes literate in language.
But listen, what you're saying makes so much sense. He got a piano for his birthday when he was about maybe 2, and he loves his piano. He just plays and plays, and it ran out of batteries, and he was like, Mom, like giving me that look. Get this shit fixed.
Get this shit fixed now.
Get this shit fixed.
Snap, exactly.
Okay, wow. So will he talk though? Like you can see that we are gonna get him to talk eventually.
I'm gonna advise you to teach him to sing first.
Okay. Okay.
Just do all of your mommy commands in a singing voice.
Okay. I can do that.
And encourage your hubby to do the same thing. You almost got to see like you're living in a musical with him.
Okay. Yeah.
And he will eventually speak, but he'll probably sing first.
Okay, I love that. I can work with that.
Okay. Now the next thing is he's incredibly sensitive to odd noises and arguments.
Okay.
So if you and your hubby have to have a conversation that's Barbadian, you know what I mean?
Yes, I
do
know.
it outside, okay?
Okay.
Or do it away from him, okay?
That makes perfect sense, because I told my children before that I told them that he's coming. This was when I was pregnant, and they have to communicate with each other differently to show him that. And then when he came out and he wasn't talking, I kind of blamed them, and I said to them, he's not talking because y'all are shouting at each other too much, and he doesn't like that. So
kids are going to be loud though. This is about between you and your hubby here.
Oh, I see.
That's the sensitivity. Adult voices carry a lot more power.
Oh, I see. Okay.
It's like 9-volt battery versus 110 power plugged into the wall. That's the difference.
That's his dad.
That's his dad. Okay.
Yeah.
So try to start living the musical life with him, and encourage the kids to do the same.
Okay.
So there are some wonderful movies from the 40s, 50s, and 60s that are pure cheesy musicals. Okay?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And some decent ones that are on Disney now. try to see what you can do to incorporate some of those in there.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
And it might be a good idea for you to find someone that can give you guys voice lessons too.
Okay.
Okay. Just so you can learn to maintain tone and vibration.
Perfect.
Now,
Perfect.
just something you know, he is pure 100% Arcturian, meaning
Oh, wow.
he lives, that's the world that he came from. And
Okay.
Arcturians are born to be musical. Their entire culture, they learn to sing before they learn to speak. They learn 100 musical instruments by the time they're 10.
Wow.
Their math is in music. Their language is in music. Everything is in musical format.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah.
And just understand, he's probably never going to be in normal school.
Agreed. I don't feel
Okay.
that for him or my 6-year-old. It's true.
You know, your 6-year-old's gonna need 6-year-old's gonna need school. These two kids are different.
Okay.
And when I mean normal school, like once he starts showing the musical progress and capacity to read sheet music, you're gonna have to really reach out to the musical societies around the world. And you might end up having to move out of Barbados so you can get him the right schooling.
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay. He's a prodigy, pure and simple.
Wow. That feels so good to hear because I was worried, and I don't know, you have this feeling that the child is special. All parents think their children are special, but in what way and what is required of me to bring out his genius, So that's really just wanted to know. How do I be the best for him? So I thank you.
Teaching him how to be a good human being.
Yeah.
Okay?
I can
It's
definitely
teaching him how to use discernment, how to play with kids, how to be a good human. Okay?
Yeah.
He's going to be an introvert. Simple as that. He's going to be an introvert. But teaching him how to be a good human introvert.
I can do that.
Okay? And you're perfectly suited to teach them the lessons of love.
I know.
Okay?
I know. Yes. Yes. Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank
You're
you.
so welcome. Thank you, guys. Wonderful that you called in from Barbados, one of my second homes.
Yes. Yeah. I remember you told me that before. We spoke last year when the lockdown first started.
Oh, that's right. I remember now. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and it's bad now. We were really good for the whole year, but now we've got a lot of cases. So
yeah, I know. I guess they're publicly shaming people now that are out having liming and stuff. They're on the national TV showing people's faces of what are breaking lockdown.
Oh yeah, but the real shaming is the vaccine thing because they're really aggressive about it here.
Yep.
And so they've turned the people, like, if you're online and you say, oh, I don't know, I want to see, before I take it, oh, it's aggressive. It's really aggressive. So,
and I guess there's some kind of scandal going on there about the Indian community paying for vaccines to come there, and a whole bunch of Indian families showed up for free vaccine before even the medical workers.
And before the persons that they said could get it, which was in the older community. Yeah.
Yep. That's a disaster.
You know Barbados, so.
Oh, I know it well. Yes, I keep my ear to the ground there.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, I'll let somebody else call. And again, thank you so much.
All right.
Made my night. All
thank
right.
you. You have a great day and start living the musical life.
I'm doing it. All right. Thanks so much.
Thanks a lot. Have a good one.
Okay.
What another wonderful caller. Wow. All righty. Let's spin up the wheel of callers and see who's next.
All right. Karen Lacey, signal to unmute.
Karen, are you there? Karen, I want to speak to your manager, Karen. Karen, you can unmute.
Okay, we'll have to work on that one. Sorry, Karen. Okay, Lindsay, guest.
Lindsay, are you there?
Hello, I'm here.
Hi, where are you calling from?
Vancouver Island, Canada.
Vancouver Island, Canada. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Great. What do you think of today's show so far?
It's good. It's all just real life stuff. I'm really impressed by all the healers that call in. I want to be one.
I get a lot of healers that call in. Yes, I do. An absorbently high number, and I love it when they call in.
Yeah, I wonder if that's in the books for me, because I feel like that's what I want to do with my life, but I haven't seen the things that the people that call in have seen.
Okay, well, let me shine the healer light on you. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
I'm a single mom. January 14th, 88 is my birthday. I live, what do I say here? I have a hard time, like a lot of the time. I don't know what to do with my life at all. I'm a recovering Q-tard.
How bad was your Q-tardness?
I went deep. Rabbit hole is dark and vast.
Okay. Did you fill in have you filled in the rabbit hole with concrete?
No. No, not yet.
You gotta cover that hole up.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's a psychological world. Like, the unseen is so prevalent now. We can't not study it and figure it out and find it out, but it's invisible. So you have to feel it and you have to be calm to get the message. That's where maybe I struggle, because I kind of shake sometimes.
Maybe you can make a Q-tard rehab business. And
maybe.
That's from Santo in the chat room. Wonderful. You can make your own Q-tardian rehab center.
Yeah. Okay. Well, one question I have is just related to my older brother.
No. We're going to focus on you being. It is about you being a healer or not.
Okay.
What have you done to become a healer?
Well, I just discovered you last year, so I know I'm like C+. So what have I done? Nothing really. Just I know I need to fix myself first.
Okay, that's fair. It's fair. C+ is better than F-.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What does B+ living look like for you? Living the B+ mystical life.
Maybe being zen throughout the day, not letting anything really get to me, because it's always there. So just
because everything gets to you all the time, former Q-tard.
Yes.
Okay. So C+ life is living the emotional highway all the time. And B+ is not letting the shit on the highway to get to you.
Okay.
So what is the journey from living the C+ life to living the B+ life? And how do you stop the shit from getting to you? Turn off Facebook for the first thing.
Okay.
Cold turkey, like a drug habit.
Okay.
How bad was Facebook for you?
Like, it's a full-time job, basically.
Okay, you need to cut it off completely.
Totally.
Okay? Totally. And it's going to be like a crack addict for you.
Well, I could replace it. What should I replace?
Read books. No, read a book.
Okay.
Okay. I have 2 books that I recommend all the time. Dancing the Dream by Jamie Sams. It will be the hardest and easiest book you ever read. And I mean hardest and easiest. And the second book is The Holographic Universe by Michael Talbot. Okay. And then the Dan Millman series, The Way of the Peaceful Warrior.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So you should start reading 1 book per week to replace Facebook.
There you go.
And when I mean cold turkey, I mean literally cold turkey. And that will go from C+ to B+.
Okay.
Okay. Now, there are dozens of other books that you can read. You can pick up a book on ESP. You can pick up a book on Bigfoot. You can pick up a book on this. You're also going to have to turn your YouTube PhD level all way down.
Okay.
Okay. I would actually recommend that you take Facebook and YouTube as an app off of your phone.
Whoa. Yeah, that would be a totally different life. You're right.
Okay. This is going to determine if you're serious or not. If you don't take them off of your phone and keep them off of your phone, you're going to forever hear me echo in your brain, you're not serious about changing.
Right. Yeah, no, I take it seriously.
Okay, all of your other devices, you got to take the app off. No notifications in email, no notifications anywhere. The app does not exist. Disconnect Messenger. Okay.
Yeah.
Be like plenty of the other former Q-tards. I'm taking a break from Facebook. Be back in a year.
Yeah. And now it's it.
Okay.
Mhm.
And
Okay.
in a year, you should easily be able to read 30 books. Okay.
That
And
would
those
be-
could be books on healing. Those could be books on spirituality. They could be books on quantum theory. If you really are serious about becoming a healer, pick up books on healing.
Okay.
Okay. Because in all reality, you're a mother with a young child in lockdown. And that's truth. And that's a truth you can't avoid anymore. And the best form of self-illumination is self-education for you. In putting yourself in the year of disconnecting from Facebook and the social media, truly reading books and getting back into a different form of study person, then you can apply to go to a school. Okay, you could easily become a healer in 4 to 6 months. You can get a massage license. You could step it up a level and say, hey, I want to go to medical school and be a surgeon.
Oh, wow. You see, that's okay. All
But you
right.
got to start believing in yourself. And Facebook isn't helping you believe in yourself.
No.
Nor are YouTube PhDs helping you believe in yourself.
Yeah, it's warping me, maybe.
Okay?
Okay.
It's rotting your brain.
That's what I tell my little man. Oh my gosh.
Okay? Now you hear me say it's rotting your brain.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, you get a lot of entertainment from Facebook, and you're going to have to learn self-entertainment.
Yeah, life is boring. So.
No, life is a dopamine release from Facebook right now.
Okay.
You get all of your dopamine releases from Facebook, which is Facebook is designed to give you dopamine releases when you get a like or somebody looks at your post or you troll somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? You're going to have to teach yourself how to get natural dopamine releases without the social media engine guiding them for you.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Okay? My first piece of advice for you is get a Netflix account if you don't got it, and watch stand-up comics morning, noon, and night.
Okay. Yeah, because it's like, radical self-care. Anything just so I don't feel like hiding, because it's, do whatever to not want to give up at this point. That's where I'm at right now. So.
And giving yourself a year at B+ living will show you how easy A+ living really is.
Okay. That's easier then.
Okay. Now, a year is not long. A year is really not long. But deep down in the back of your shadow, it's planning. Oh, I got a year to beat her up. I got a year to make her bored. I got a year to annoy the shit out of her. Okay.
Like talking to myself?
Oh, your shadow. Yeah, your shadow that's going to want you to go back to Facebook. Your shadow that's going to want you to be under the domination and control of the global narrative again.
Are there shadows around me manipulating me? Because I feel like there's
no. That's you. Every person has a shadow.
Okay.
It's built into you.
All right.
Okay, and right now your shadow is on Q-tard steroids, and you got to get him off the steroid cycle. Okay.
All right. Yeah, I will wait a month and get some better questions to actually ask you.
Okay. Do you like to cook?
No. Food and me, it's like disordered. I don't know what to put in my mouth, what time to do it, or how to prepare it.
And has it been like that your whole life?
Yeah.
Why?
Oh, I just feel like I have an issue with food. Like I've been overweight my entire life. And I feel like until I fix that, I can't do anything else.
That's garbage.
Yeah.
Exercise fixes that. And for you to say I have no relationship with food is a fucking lie to yourself.
Well,
absolute fucking lie. And I'm calling you a cunt lying to yourself.
Holy shit.
Okay? Okay, and there's people going ooh ah in the chat room. You're lying to yourself, and you're believing your own lie.
I make it worse than it is then.
Mm-hmm. So this next month, when you're not on Facebook, you will allow yourself to watch some YouTube food videos.
Okay.
You will exercise. B plus is 30 minutes a day. 30 minutes of exercise a day, bitch.
Okay.
Hey,
All right.
30 minutes a day, exercise. Learn to feed yourself. Learn to get over those food programs. Okay?
I will.
And you got to be willing to call your little whiny bitch part of yourself the whiny bitch that's taking over. Call out your cunt aspects of yourself.
Okay.
Okay?
Will do.
Okay? I know there's some people in the background. Oh my God, he used the C word. I'm using it affectionately because it's about an aspect of you, not you.
Right.
The part of you that likes to beat the shit out of yourself. That likes to beat you up and living the shitty life daily.
Right? Enough of that.
Right.
Yeah.
Until you stop letting it bully you, it's going to continue.
Okay.
Okay?
I'll take charge.
Take charge. Large in a charge. Beat her with a stick. Okay?
Okay.
Food. You in a relationship now?
No, not. I know I am not. I deal with my son's father, which consumes my. It puts me off. We'll have like he's the opposite of me, so it's just like this constant me trying to protect my son, but is my son in any danger to protect from anyway? Like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You're cutarding bullshit, making you a crappy mother.
yeah, I mean, is there any reason to worry about the dad? Or
It has nothing to do with the dad. It has to do with how conspiracy has programmed you to worry about absolutely everything in your reality, to make mountains out of molehills.
even if my son comes home with 2 infections after spending 2 nights with his dad, like he's not really a dad. He's more of a donor, and just.
It sounds like you have a lot of undealt with emotional issues there.
Yes.
Listen, he's not perfect. Okay? And he's not the ex isn't perfect, and it's going to continue to not be perfect.
Yeah.
Okay? But that doesn't mean you can get yourself off hook to cut the trees down around you and have a massive temper tantrum every time that goes on.
It doesn't make it better, that's for sure.
Nope, it only makes it worse inside you.
Okay.
Okay, do you have anybody else to help you? Mothers on either side?
No.
Why?
She lives
because you don't let them in?
She lives 3 provinces over, and she thinks that I'm disrespectful when I try to maybe show her that there is, things going on in the world. But
why the fuck are you trying to tell her things are going around the world and she doesn't care?
I'm
because you were a fucking cutard Karen.
Yeah, it was.
Okay? You've alienated everyone in your life because of it. I'm doing tough love on you because you need tough love right now. Okay? You need tough love on yourself. You need to ratchet down all the stress you created in your own life. You need to fire the spiritual Karen. Okay? You'll never become a healer if you're trying to tell everyone how to believe things.
Yeah.
You've alienated somebody that could help you on mothering. How do you fix it now?
Just read books and
forgiveness.
Okay.
Forgiveness. So that 30 minutes a day of exercise is what you're doing. And then you need to have another 30 minutes a day of personal forgiveness of all the shit you've gone through in the last 20 plus years. External and internal full-on forgiveness so that you can shake the Etch-a-Sketch and start over without any projections of the past stopping you from having a future.
Okay.
Okay? And you got to start believing in yourself. Stop believing in the conspiracies. They're not doing anything for you.
They really aren't.
Okay? Fill in that rabbit hole with concrete.
Okay.
I believe in you. What's it going to take for you to believe in you?
I guess just good day after good day after good day.
As well as calling out the aspects of yourself that are the temper tantrum parts, that are the parts beating yourself up, that are the parts that are in self-degradation, the parts that are addicted to Facebook. Calling those parts out and say, I now reclaim the power to be me, and I'm not letting you run me.
Powerful, yeah.
Okay?
Thanks, Andrew.
You can watch television, just not Facebook or YouTube. Okay? No more YouTube PhDs unless it's about food and diet.
Okay.
Okay? You ever watch Anthony Bourdain, his TV series?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go re-binge his 11 seasons.
Okay.
Okay? And every time you tell yourself I have no relation to food, call yourself a liar.
Okay.
Call yourself out. No more Fox News propaganda.
All right. Time to detox.
That's right. Detox from your own toxicity.
Yeah. Last thing I want to do is let that rub off in the world.
Or onto your child.
Yeah.
Okay?
All right.
All right, darling. Thanks a lot for calling in.
Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Wow, what another powerful caller. I believe Senor Monty is in the room.
He was. Let me see if I can spell his name correctly. There we go. Monty.
Now, Robert, it's 5 letters.
Monty, how are you doing?
I'm all right. Hello from the future.
Hello from the future. What do you think of today's show so far?
Oh, really good. It was fascinating, and seeing in the chat how people are actually responding, and it's just another example of synchronicity in the right time, and the energies, and people that came on were supposed to come on, and the people in the chat room were supposed to, free will, but that's been already ordained beforehand.
Exactly. You only live once. Free will.
Yeah. You only live once at the same time through many factors of time and space. And
exactly. Said by the lazy Time Lord.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't have a response, but I'm lazy.
So I know you and I play around in the background with this, but share with some of your musings about the lazy Time Lord. I personally think it's very funny.
Well,
is your TARDIS always late?
No, if you remember the Lord of the Rings films, it just reminds me of Gandalf. A wizard is never late. He arrives when he's supposed to.
There you go.
So that's the content. A wizard arrives when he needs to be there, and yeah, that's that whole thing of letting life unfold. And for me, anyway, the controlling aspect, which a lot of people, you can see the frustration and expectation. I'm going to do this, and then it doesn't work out. It's like and it's like, I would like this to happen, and then let's see what happens. And he goes,
and then the movie continues.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's the fun part of it's not a trap, but it's when you manifest is like you do the small things like I'm going to get to the tram stop or the bus stop, and then 10 seconds later the bus or tram rocks up. Or if you're driving in a car, I'm going to get a car spot that's for free right out the front of the building I need to get into. And you sort of like send your order to the prime creator in the kitchen, and then you let you may hit every red light to get to where you're going, but then you get to where it's like, oh, I need to park. Oh, there's one. Bang, and then you go, wait a minute, I manifest that. Now on the flip side of that is I'm going to get the a car park at the front of the building, and there'll be like a tree, and then there's going to be like a chocolate bar wrapper, and there'll be a flow of you know what I mean. You put so much expectation into your manifestation that the universe goes, nah. That's not going to work. Sorry, your order doesn't make sense.
And that's how a lazy Time Lord thinks.
Yeah. It's like, or if you're a writer, or you know, are you the type of person that does cramming for a test the night before?
Well, hour before.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, wait a minute. Physics. Right. Hang on. Oh, I've got the questions. Yeah. So that's basically the lazy Time Lord thing of everything happens at once, and time slows everything down. And from my perspective, I think it's an interesting retirement. But my 3D existence is to try and slow down time instead of trying to hit the time stream and hit that 0 point. I've gone the other way, where I'm trying to slow everything down to a pause and take the long way around. Which, actually enough, during Doctor Who's 50th anniversary special, when Matt Smith playing the Doctor said, "I'm on my way home. I know what I'm doing now. I'm on my way home. I'm just taking the long way around." I'm crying and going, "Oh, that's so good times." And then, yeah.
So what else is going on in Monty's life?
Well, from the show, actually, the comedic side came out. It's like, you should talk to Andrew in a Scottish accent to freak everyone out. When I come on, but I forgot to do that. But I am actually mathematically, I'm an 8th Scottish. My dad's mum, she's half Scottish, and I was wondering if you could share with the class, a little bit of I think it's the Thompson clan, but what's happening in Scotland. Yeah, because for those who probably didn't hear it, Andrew and I were on McDonald in the morning on Revolution Radio, and so we talked about Costa Rica, and it was fascinating. It was like, spine of the world and everything else like that. So I'm just wondering the Scottish element, because I think my DNA is like, just don't talk about your English side.
I will be slightly comedic in my description and metaphors of Scotland, but they have a lot of truth to them. So Scotland is the pelvis of the world. Ooh. The back end, the pelvis. But those are also beautiful butt cheeks. Okay, it's a matter of perspective.
Oh yeah, I'm a butt man, not a breast man. I know what you mean. Yeah.
So your Scottish side's coming out.
Now, look at that kilt. Yeah, she's great. I'm dead sexy. Yeah, sorry. I recently watched all the Austin Powers films.
I did too, actually. I couldn't help it. I had to watch them.
Yep.
Lockdown and everything, desperate for watching something. But it's also one of the many root chakras of the planet. So the Earth has 4 different root chakras. So it's considered what I call the physical root chakra versus an etherical root chakra. So those people that live in the Scotland area have a tremendous connection to the physical reality. Now, there are places in Scotland where the veil between realities can be very, very thin. And what that means is there's an aspect in the land that allows natural etheric travel to other realms.
Yeah.
So what is Scotland? It's part of the British Isles, but its main thing to understand is, in its ancient history, millions and millions and millions of people lived in those mountains, far more than's ever living there now.
Yeah, well, it's interesting that the Romans got to a certain point, so like, yes, we'll stop. The guys in the blue paint are really upset, but the English are trying to. The Scots just want people to leave them alone, but they're always been a prominent part of. I mean, it's a beautiful country and beautiful people, and but it's like the New Hebrides, and it always pops up. But I guess it's probably because of the root chakra that there's more than just the physical side of it. Because
there's the etheric side, and then there's the deep underground tunnels that are all over Scotland. Caverns and tunnels.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
At one point, there was an Atlantis, like, you know, all world cultures have their major cities. Scotland would have had an equivalent of, we'll call it I don't want to give it the right name. Philadelphia type energies of the city.
Okay. Well, since I haven't been to Philadelphia, but
Well, it's a very patriotic.
oh, yep, yeah. Now, yeah,
energy.
I needed the brain to click through.
Yeah.
It's like, what? Why is Philadelphia popular? It's not cream cheese in a Tom Hanks film. It's the Liberty Bell, and that's one of the first cities of the colonies and all that stuff. So yeah,
Right.
Okay, yeah.
And in the old and cheesesteaks, yes.
Well, of course.
Okay. So it has that energy in its ancient history.
Okay, yeah. Because it just obviously it's the DNA. Like you haven't been to New Zealand, have you yet?
No, I haven't. No.
I went. I jokingly say, yeah, I went to New Zealand in the winter and went head towards the South Pole. Don't do that. It's very cold. We got into Wellington and then went down the South Island. Got to Dunedin, and I've never been to Scotland like this body. And got to Dunedin, was like, this is Scotland. As Billy Connolly points out, yeah, Dunedin, you know, grey, overcast shit, and the rain's going sideways. Oh, we're all home. Quick, let's set up tents here. And so Dunedin, which is a Scottish name, it's probably the same level of weather, but it was fascinating. It's like from memory, which is 1990. It's like about 8 buildings in the side of a cliff, and it was completely overcast and grey, and because it was winter, and yeah, the Scottishness came out, and like, it just reminds me of home.
Yes, and somebody in the chat room says it's easy to access root chakra with a kilt.
Yep, and also take a crap as well.
Mm-hmm.
Life's better after a great big poo. Let me show you.
Or to visit the local sheep.
Now.
What?
The sheeps are sluts because it's the Scottish that sleep with them, the Australians sleep with them, the South Africans, the New Zealanders. I think the problem is the sheep.
Yeah, that's because they're sheeple.
Yeah.
They're always out walking on the roads, looking all furry.
Yeah. Oh, but what about the sheep that actually escape and their wool doesn't get cut and they get up to 60 kilograms of wool? And one survived because the wolves couldn't get through the
things. Yes, I saw that.
So yeah, instead of being hard and you know all that and cased, it's like just be really big and fluffy and you'll survive.
Yes, I said Fury, Danny. Furry.
Oh, no, I'm not bringing up that.
Not bringing up the story.
No. There's videos for that. And so, anything I can find out about the Thompson clan? It's actually spelled TH. It's Thompson.
So it's first thing first. It's a very common name, but it stretches back to an Atlantean line. That particular Atlantean line were stonemasons and builders and tunnel builders.
Mm-hmm.
The thump is actually an Atlantean word for rapid construction.
So the comedic brain just kicked in. So you're saying I like quick erections?
There you go. Yes, quick erection, quick reduction.
Yeah, it's over like that.
Exactly.
Okay, well, fascinating. Yeah, because there's all when I was younger, which could have been last year, ladies and gentlemen, but I used to play with Lego, and we got the castle sets, and there was just this little fascination of building, castles and all that type of stuff, and forts, and
very much an architectural type energy in there.
Yeah,
that's in the Thompson as a lineage, and the lineage is huge.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if it's like Smith, so.
Well, actually, there are more Thompsons than Smiths.
Another English lie.
Most Smiths are actually Smythe. They just took the E off at the end.
Oh yeah, and that's yeah, that makes sense if it's after silversmith or a blacksmith or smythe and yeah.
And Smythe with a Y.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Which was representative of what level of peasant or peon they were. So a Smythe was a higher level peasant or peon.
Ooh.
So peon is the lowest. I'm sorry, peasant is the lowest, peon is the second lowest, and Smythe is the highest of peons.
Of peasantum.
Peasantum, exactly.
Oh well, I just really there's a junction in the conversation where we can go 17 different ways. But,
it's not often I get to talk about this shit, you know. I mean,
yeah.
I've never really explored the peon relationship to smithing. It's new to me.
See, that's the joy of being the Galactic historian. Andrew doesn't know everything at once. He's allowed to roam the Akashic Records. It's like, so tell me about Scotland and the peasants. Ooh, let's pick up this book.
Yeah, exactly. Ooh, look, there's a Smythe. It's the highest level of peondom.
Yes, and they would fight the dragons. Now they had dragons in China. Fun times.
Yes. Smythes were often the ones to die first.
Because they're smarter. And so the Lord's like, get rid of the smart ones.
Forced volunteering.
Yeah, the word volunteer really doesn't have to be there then.
Well, that volunteer, you're a peon. I don't want to be a peon. All right, I'll go into the cave first. Go look for traps. But wait, you're the thing that's going to activate a trap if it's there.
Yeah, because if you look back at history and if you take the spiritual element out of it, work with me here. How did people find out stuff? Apparently, because I'm sure there's a spiritual thing like our ayahuasca, where it's a leaf and a root in an ecosystem with nearly 1 million different plants and species.
That was taught to them.
Yeah.
That wasn't trial and error. No.
There's still today. Like, how about this one? And it's just fascinating with science and just the shamanistic stuff. They're either told or the plants, a carrot's going, I can be sauteed, right? The shaman wants you to. What is this orange thing? Well, you slice it and then saute it just for. But I've lost in my own comedy hole now.
You're a vegetable whisperer.
You've unlocked everything.
You are the savior of all vegans.
Oh, that's right. I remember now. There are elements, I guess, with mechanical technology. There's more of experimentation. I think it's Hertz, but it was a French scientist who was discovering frequency. And he had a machine that would do, I think he got down to 5 hertz vibration. Mm-hmm. He went through 12 assistants because they would have to turn the machine on and then liquefy because the body couldn't resonate with the same frequency. So I don't know what is happening. We've lost another one.
I don't understand this. Get me another assistant.
Jacques, get your other brother. So yeah, there is that strange science, when science was there to
that's why you have Smythes.
Yeah, exactly.
When you accidentally melt 5 assistants, get me the next Smythe.
There's a lot of them. There was a lot of them. There was a lot of experimentation in the late 1800s.
And the poor Smythes were the guinea pigs.
Yes. Now, the other thing I wanted to bring up is it was good that we had an ex-Q-tard and just the therapy and the cold turkey and of like, oh, I was that, and now I see that I'm not, and that's part of the experience of being on the planet. It's like, well, I used to like that, but now I don't, because free will and you move on, and it's not I'm going to die on this hill. But with the conversation we had with Bruce, the simple question was like, what can we do? and you shared in this moment of now with the energies, sort of pointing out corruption. And so I was thinking, how can we expand that? You'll know what to say now. Like you'll have a package or expand on it. But I know it's a negative way of saying it, but it's like poisoning the well of the global narrative without using conspiracy theories, because they're so upfront with hubris and arrogance that they're being corrupt in front of the TV cameras. Is sharing that idea now in the global narrative, which is we like a disease in it. I'm just talking about corruption without going, no disrespect to Alex Jones, but the Alex Jones type, if that makes sense. You don't go back to, because you probably get called a Q-tard, which is the whole of being Q, because that's part of the psyop. That was part of it, was to distract. But anytime you had another movement coming in, you'll get labeled as those nut jobs. So my question, so after all that, let's go back. So how can we share the idea of corruption? And it's to point it out and stop it. I'm not saying we get corrupt.
So you have to find the things that are already defined as corruption. Example, we'll use the Wall Street Bets GameStop situation with Robinhood. Robinhood is a front-facing business of the big capital banks. It's actually illegal for them to do that, but their business model has been approved.
Mm-hmm.
So you also you find the stuff that already has the corruption proven. So
Yes.
when they go to call you a Q-tardian, no, this has already been proven. Okay, and if you want to continue to call me a Q-tard, I'm going to call you a conversational terrorist who has no truth, could accept no truth. And you put the conversational terrorist on them. You're the jihadi with the bomb on your back.
Yeah.
Okay, not me. I am already showing the existing corruption. And my point is to not educate everyone. My point is to make a stink about the corruption we've already proved.
Yes, yeah. That's sort of that's reinforcing the idea. It's like, even just talking about the Federal Reserve Bank, where it's like,
you don't even have to go that far. There's plenty to deal with when it just has to do with the stock market, building code. Example, if anybody ever watches Bill Maher, he has a comedy show. It's political. Yes, I know. But he's now on day 1,340 to get his solar power turned on.
Oh, wow.
It took him 700 days to get approval to build a shed to hold the solar power conductors. Okay. Yeah. And he lives in Los Angeles. And it's literally the bureaucracy is so bad that it's taken him that long. It still doesn't have solar power turned on. There are plenty of subject matters that won't put you in the gray area of it's a conspiracy.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Well, that's the corruption's so thick. Where quick thing about the solar panels. The Norwegian solar panels work 50% more than the American solar panels, and I believe
because they're approved by law in the United States to only produce a certain amount. Yeah, and if you find the actual law that says their solar panels are limited to this, then you could prove corruption through the law.
Yeah. Because it's illegal to buy those or import those Norway. And it's you could just see that AOC in her infinite wisdom actually pointed out what we're seeing in Texas just proves of what happens when you ignore the Green Deal. And I'm like, what? what is no? So
part of the Green New Deal was to regulate the power companies so that they can't rip off customers by charging 1,400% when they can't produce the power that they're supposed to produce. I'm not defending her, but that's actually what's in the law, in the Green New Deal they're trying to do. And the power companies here in the United States are mafia level rip-off artists.
Yeah. She should have put that in the tweet then.
But she's a moron. She's a political moron.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, she's got a... Did you know that someone shared a screenshot of Tucker Carlson with AOC in the, you've got the box around about here where they have like a picture next to the newsroom. It was Tucker Carlson. And so they they put forward the charge that Tucker Carlson actually put googly eyes on AOC, and everyone's like, they're actually her eyes. And so I had to take that tweet down.
So somebody in the chat room saying is Texas is its only state with its own power grid. Technically, that's not true.
Yeah.
So it has a council that tells the power companies what to do, and that council has building codes and laws that they have to build within, and that is an attempt at eliminating the corruption within the power companies. And they don't actually, the power companies have a certain percentage ownership of ECOT also. So it's mutually beneficial to reduce the corruption is what they created there. Now, what went on there is there has been a long-term process of using the cheapest materials to produce stuff so that they can rip off ECOT in a different way. Example, the windmills that are freezing, they were built without anti-freezing generation systems in them. Come on. It's not like snow is foreign to Texas. It does happen there quite regularly on a regular basis. But why are windmills freezing? Because they built them the cheapest as possible and tried to charge as much out of them as they could. And that's still the power companies ripping off the communities.
And that's still technically a corruption.
Correct.
See, now that's the fake photo.
Right.
I just want to point that out. But that's the other thing. It reminded me of I haven't seen it, but I really should, being a film buff. Rebel Without a Cause. That's Marlon Brando, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
No.
Yeah.
So what you need to be is a corruption rebel with a cause.
Yeah, exactly. Where it's like, what are you rebelling against? What do you got? Because I just had that thought of like, where's the corruption? It was like, where do you want to start? Like,
let's start with power generation.
Yeah.
Let's start with gas and electric. Let's start with the car companies. Let's start with any of those.
Yeah, the financial system, aspartame in the food, and blah blah blah. It's like there's 47 subjects to start with. It's like that's kind of my point.
And none of them are conspiracy.
No, that's the other thing as well. Where that's why they're ramping up the whole conspiracy theorist.
Mm-hmm.
However, on the flip side of that is like, I mean, this might be a bad example, but Hillary Clinton's not really trustworthy. It's like, when she was Secretary of State, I think it was Benghazi, or she was in front of the Senate committee. She was asked, "Did you wipe the hard drives?" And her answer was, "What, with a cloth?" And I don't think she was trying to be funny.
Once again, to turn the phrase from David Icke, owned by psychopaths, run by idiots.
Yeah. And the idiots are proving themselves as well. Like,
she used a cloth to wipe the hard drive.
Yeah. And you can check out what Emperor Biden's up to. And like, comedy gold.
He's using his CD-ROM tray as a cup holder.
Yeah, and it wonders why his cup's getting crushed when
exactly.
Why is it? This tray's really CD holder. This cup holder is really weird. Idiots can be psychopaths. No, psychopaths are high functioning idiots.
Yes, psychopaths are high functioning idiots. Exactly.
Because what's the difference in DNA like between apart from melanin? From a Caucasian, European to an African. What's the DNA difference? It's like 0.0001 or something like that.
Yeah, it's virtually nothing.
Yeah. Just pointing out the stupidity of racism. It's like, you're 0.004 different than me. It's like, we're only 3% difference from a monkey. Shut up.
Yes, exactly. And then there are certain breeds of rats and pigs that are we're even closer relationship to. Yet we eat pig all the time.
Yeah, well, don't eat. Well, apparently it tastes like human flesh, and the Bible's got that don't eat pigs and stuff.
That's why the in cannibals in the Polynesian countries they call it long pig.
So where did the idea of it tastes like chicken comes from? Because everything tastes like chicken.
From Americans that were haughty arrogant people that were going to other places acting haughty and arrogant, and all they could do is to taste like chicken.
Yeah, fair enough. And
as a compliment to the food that they were eating, and since they were used to their own shittiest food in the world, because back in the 20s, 30s, and 40s, Americans had the shittiest food in the world.
Yeah. Yeah, the type of American tourist, there's a stereotype of the American tourist. They come to Melbourne and take photos of the 7-Eleven. Like, really? Like, oh, look, honey, they've got a Burger King here too. It's like, that's Notre Dame. Yeah, I'll get to that. I'll get to that. Something about a hunchback. I'm hungry. Can I have a Whopper? So.
Exactly. I want a hunchback Whopper.
Now, look, we should hold off because we have to do this for 2 hours tomorrow.
Yes. So, Monty, we're going to call it an end of the show today. Why don't you give a way for people to get a hold of you?
On YouTube, Wafer Thin Entertainment. It's the best place, and there's links all through that, be it Twitter as well as Facebook and on Instagram. Most of them are just Monty Dean. And I'm on Parler, but I can't get back onto it. I'm going to stop there because it's like a scattershot now with so where can you find you, and you get to the 17th social style, like so I need to basically start saying just go to Wafer Thin Entertainment on YouTube, and that will give you links to go everywhere else, as well as here on Galactic Historian every second Friday for the comedy show.
And everybody, you know who I am. You can go to my website, andrewbartzis.com. You can go to my Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch and find all the information you want about me. We will be back tomorrow. Monty and I, for another adventure into comedy, where we'll be surgically removing sticks from people's asses. And if you are one of those people that can't laugh, don't join the show.
Yeah.
If you are a troll on YouTube, don't join the show. If you're one of those people that just wants to complain and have a pity party, don't join our show. Yeah, we are there to have fun.
Yeah, our show's about free will. Like, you have the free will of not watching it. If it's not for you, don't watch it.
Okay. And if it is for you, call in and tell us some jokes.
Yeah.
All right, Monty, we will be back tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern time, for our adventure into comedy. All right, Robert, take us away.
Each different bubble of reality is true. A galactic historian is a person that looks at all the lines of dramatic karma. Nudge, nudge. It's the Holy Grail. Improvise. Mysterious. It's counter psychic intelligence.
Why is DNA farming of this star cluster so important?
Because we do manifest our reality. We do create our reality.
Hello, let's create, let's co-create, and let's change this world with love. No matter if you're from Alpha Centauri or Earth, we all began with the same birthing process. We live in a limited point of view. Living the mystical life daily is about striving for the unlimited point of view. Each day, each human being gets an infinite amount of choices. Living the mystical life daily is about facing obstacles and challenges. The level of awareness that you are working at means you have a responsibility to be equal with it. How does one truly let go of expectation? You can make the moment that you wake up to the moment you go to sleep sacred. The keys to success: Choice, 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 and choice.